This is the real question that I have.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you tired?
When you're feeling burnt out or unmotivated to make content, like, what do you do?
Add value to your audience, add value to your audience, add value, and no one ever really like breaks down what that is.
So I'm in a phase now where I'm worried about quality in the community. And so I'll post once a day. This year I've experienced the biggest burnout in my life. As an introvert, creating every single day, multiple platforms, multiple content types, running a business, serving the people, life just lifing. How does one stay consistent creating content? What is the plan? What is the strategy? What is the routine? So in this video, we're gonna go over the system, the plan I use as an introvert to stay consistent. When I'm burnt out, what happens to my content, and my routine to recover and to prevent burnout. So come on, let's talk about it.
Curious too, as an introvert, and I am also an introvert too, how do you stay consistent and kind of keep up that grind?
I don't look at it as a chore, right?
Yeah.
So I like just sharing what I know. That's just, I'm reading constantly, I'm watching interviews, I'm looking at updates and that whole nine. And so all I'm doing is, okay, you're giving me a platform to share what I know. That's all I'm doing. I could do that now. When I stop learning, that's when I'll stop posting. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm always doing that. And so it's not hard for me to do exactly what I always do. It gets hard when you start trying to fit in with what's working, right? And I don't try to fit into the trends and the topics that's always working and things like that. Like it just happens that I am talking about it. Cool. But I don't intentionally go, okay, man, all right. Because it's like being a character. Like, that's not me. Like, I don't naturally talk about this. I don't naturally do these things. I don't naturally, shout out to the people who don't really dance and they dance. Like, y'all have no business doing that. That's cool. Some people try to be funny and they're not funny. They do these skits. That's cool because you see that it works for somebody else. I've been always in a search of seeking what works for me, right? And I'm still on that path. I feel like I'm in a great groove. But I still feel like there is still more for me to figure out of my style, right? And so that's all I care about. Like, I'm in constant search of what is my style? But while I'm figuring it out, I got to put out stuff to collect that data. And so I'm just like, all right, what did I learn today? Cool, boop. What did I do this? Okay, boop. And that's it. And I don't necessarily feel bogged down with the how many times. I used to. I'm like, okay, I gotta do at least twice a day, this, that, and the third. I'm realizing that consistency is only about getting the reps in, right? It's momentum. It's not necessarily a strategy to be viral. It's not a strategy to make it work. It happens because you've collected so much, like you've done so much, right? But consistency is more of, let me get the reps in. Now, when I figure out the reps, now let me really work on the quality. And let me do that. And then there's going to be a phase where, okay, let me worry about the community, right? So I'm in a phase now where I'm worried about quality in the community. And so I'll post once a day, right? I'll do the YouTube about, one post a week, then my live. And I don't try to max out because I've done the max out and I've burnt out. And what I'm now focusing on is not to burn out again.
Yeah.
Right? Because it only hurts me while I'm thinking I'm trying to do the most for outside. And I'm like, nah, I'm really even now, I think I'm about a 90% better from my last creator burnout. But what I don't want to ever do is get that creator burnout and show that to the world. Like, people will never know when I'm burnt out because I'll just repurpose everything. But I will know that I'm burnt out, and that bugs me.
Talk to me a little bit about when you think about content creation, what is your process as far as planning what you're actually going to put out?
So I think about the goal first, right? So what is the goal for the month? Normally I go month and week.
Okay.
Right? So main goal, because I don't necessarily try to create outside of that, right? So if I'm saying, okay, the goal is to grow deeper than the brand, or the goal is to get brand awareness, then I'm doing things that are going to match that goal. So I'm going to be, or it is to like grow the podcast. So then I'm showing the podcast, I'm showing behind the scenes of the podcast, I'm showing different clips of the podcast, that whole nine. It always goes and revolves around the goal. If I don't have necessarily a goal, that's where I'm like putting out stuff just aimlessly, like, okay, it's Tuesday, I'm just gonna post whatever. So once I understand the goal, I normally go based off like the FEL formula, what I normally say, which is functional, emotional, or entertainment, and then life-changing value. Because people continuously say, yo, add value to your audience, add value to your audience, add value, and no one ever really like breaks down what that is, right? And so normally I go with the functional value, which is giving the tips and the tricks, because that's shareable. Right?
Okay.
And then I'm giving like the emotional or entertainment side of things, because that's more for my audience. And that really brings in kind of that you get to know me a little bit more. It caters to what they need, like backstories and that whole nine, behind the scenes situations. And then life-changing value, which is kind of like that motivational, inspirational one within the content realm of that I talk about, because then it gets people to feel like they could do it. Yeah. So if the main reasons why people come onto social media is motivation, education, and entertainment, and I'm hitting them with all three of them within my content schedule, then there's no real reason to go anywhere else when it comes to that particular niche.
I get it, because you're feeding the need.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well-rounded.
Okay, hold up. Let me stop this video real quick, because as we're talking about staying consistent, let me show you exactly how to create 30 days of content. I have a 2-day virtual social accelerator workshop that in day 1, we're talking about how to create 30 days worth of content. And on day 2, we're gonna be talking about how to dominate Instagram, okay? YouTube is amazing, but we also gotta get the attention on other different platforms. Mine is going to be Instagram. So how I exactly got up to over 180 plus followers. I break down the whole system with that. So the link is in the description, or you just go and scan the QR code. All right, let's get back to the video.
This is the real question that I have.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you tired?
No, I actually
You're
sleep
not
very
tired
well.
from being so consistent? Like, because you are, like...
No, I love doing what I do.
Man, it's hard, though. Is there, like, some kind of mental...
Why is it hard?
Because, like, showing up like that, like how you do, to the capacity that you do every single day, it's hard for a lot of people. For whatever reason, people haven't been able to, like, figure out that formula to be so consistent. Have you always been that way, to just kind of, like, keep going with it? Or is that...
So I'm always me. Okay. So the content reflects who I am. I don't necessarily try to meet the trends or try to do certain things that are outside of who I am. So it's not hard to show up as me. That's why the biggest thing is, like, do you understand who you are and how you naturally create content? Because if I wake you up at 3:47 in the morning, how do you create?
When you're feeling burnt out or unmotivated to make content, like, what do you do?
So one, repurpose. I will repurpose every single day of my life. I don't care, because if I'm not in that mood, I'm not going to force myself to be in that mood.
Yeah.
I pray every single day. I meditate every single day. I walk when I can, when it's not raining, right? But 3-4 miles a day, I walk. I do not do any type of real work. And now I'm a night owl, so this may throw off some people, but I don't do real work before 12. Like, that's a me time. That's me learning, that's me praying, that's me, and having that quality time for me, so I could be able to serve people better, is really important. But when I do feel that that's not working anymore, then I literally just stop and think. Right? I just stop whatever I'm doing, because sometimes we don't. I know for me, we get caught up in like going, and I don't get time. Like, we don't get that time to think. Like, that's why, going back, I'm big on the prayer meditations, because I got to talk, but I got to listen. Right? But then if that's not working, then I got to just like, okay, shut it all the way down. Like, remove yourself real quick. Go to a coffee shop. Go walk the dog for a longer situation. Play with your dog because my dog is a mess. If anybody knows my dog is a mess, right? Just get outside of it. And sometimes that may take an hour. Sometimes that may take a day, 2 days, right? As long as you have a system to like, and some people need to travel. I believe, and this is just me, I don't believe in traveling when things are bad. Because when you get back home, you're going to come back to the same mess.
Yeah.
So it's a temporary fix. I believe in creating a safe space in your crib, right? I work from home. So I have like a recharge station. Like that is only there to like chill. Like there's no work that's involved. There's nothing like that. Like all your stress are out there. Some people call it a sanctuary, whatever you want. Like that's my recharge station. And I'll be there for a day or two if I need to, whatever I need to do, because I don't believe in like, okay, oh, it's time for a vacation, because I know I've done that. Mm-hmm. And I get back and I'm like, oh, I gotta go home. Like I dread that last day, like, oh, man, I gotta go back here, I gotta go back there. And I'm like, nah, I like here. I'm like my house. I'm just gonna figure out what's going on with me and figure out what do I got to say no to. Because half of the time it's really just me having to just let go of something, say no to something, chill out. I was doing a podcast for 182 episodes. At a certain point, I got burnt out. I had to say no to that, and just being realistic with it, even though it's like, there's so much into that once you've built so much. And I'm like, nah, I can't do it no more. And being okay with saying no. So those are some of the things.
So I said a lot in this video, so hopefully it didn't go over your head. But let me know, have you ever felt burnt out? Put in the comments, let me know how you deal with it. I was transparent about how I deal with it and how I prevent it. But you let me know in the comments, how do you deal with creator burnout? And don't forget to check this next video.